Hi there, everybody. I'm Danny Vega, joined by my lovely co-host, my lovable co-host, the meme queen herself, the Ivy League heiress, the best, Sarah Levine, folks.
Yes, I'm inheriting the school, everyone. You heard it here first.
The heiress to the Columbia fortune, people.
I wish.
The fortune of knowledge. Is there any better wealth than learning? Probably some teacher has tried to spin that narrative at some point. Well, guys, things have gotten really crazy. We're getting a lot of new patrons. Shout out to Alyssa, Emily, Kira, Raya. We'd love it if you joined us on Patreon. We just had a fire happy hour. We'd love for you to join us. Patreon.com/AITA pod. I know there's one guy who's always like, stop plugging the Patreon, Danny. I don't want it.
Oh my God, Danny, that happened literally one time.
I know, but every time I say something, I'm like, that guy's listening or girl's listening.
Or they stopped listening because we plugged the Patreon too much and you got to let it go.
No, I can't lose a single listener. It kills me.
It does, people. Danny's very invested.
I'm very invested. I'm very sensitive. People have told me, they're like, you have feelings? Like, I've had friends say shit like that to me, and I'm like, yes, dude. I'm like, totally. I play it like I'm in control, but just watch me open up and pour out. If you just give me an inch of vulnerability, it'll get a little crazy.
Yep.
Speaking of Danny mishaps, folks.
Oh boy. What'd you do?
I'm a public apology. I posted a don't post to FB to FB. I'm very sorry if that caused any turmoil for the individual that happened to. Mm-hmm. It was a mistake. I'm a human. I made a mistake. I'm owning it now. I am sorry. I fucked up, people. I did what one should not do. I mean, it's not a common mistake, because how many people have a podcast with submissions and a do not post to FB checkbox? But I missed it. I just missed it, and I fucked up.
You know, people make mistakes. I hope it didn't cause any serious repercussions, but people make mistakes.
They do. Thank you, Sarah. And I am a people. Speaking of people, I am loving all the people who have reached out to me about how much UPS sucks.
All right. We live for this.
And last week we forgot because we had this other submission. We both knew we read it, but we couldn't find it we tried. We searched our archives. We searched our databases. We contacted the NSA even. We're like, we know you're watching our shit. Do you happen to have this submission? And guess what? The NSA had it. Submish, UPS sucks. I wanted to back up Danny's comment about UPS being made up of a bunch of assholes. I have a mini pincher mixed dog. She is vicious, but confined to the yard by an underground fence. Ooh, an underground fence. I have notes on file with all delivery services to not walk in the grass, only the driveway. She cannot touch either. I got home to my dog acting scared and the broom from my front porch laying next to my mailbox. I watched security footage of the UPS man running through my yard getting chased by my 10-pound pooch. On the way back to the truck, he grabbed the broom and beat my dog while he ran through the grass. Not once did he step on the steps or driveway. I called and got an apology from the local office, and they confirmed that my stay off the grass notes were on file. At least my dog got a good latch to his sock.
I mean, it's funny to me that he's like, this dog is vicious. Later on, this dog is 10 pounds.
I know. Well, and this is just classic UPS. And once again, I'm not trying to blame the employees at the bottom underling the drivers. I blame the corporate hierarchy at UPS, which I have established is a bunch of monkeys on typewriters. And I don't know what insane policy they have crafted, these monkeys, but it's probably just do insane shit. Don't do the common sense thing. Don't have a phone. Don't call the person and tell them you're there. It probably literally says pick up a broom and fight the dog if you think you can win. That's probably what it says. Yeah. Fuck UPS. Keep them coming, people. I will go. Here's what I want. I want to put enough UPS negativity on the air that UPS reaches out and they say, say sorry. That's all I want. I don't even want to be sponsored. I just want them.
We won't take your money.
Exactly. We don't even want your money. No, we want a public apology from UPS to the people of America. We're sorry. Brown is sorry. That's what I want, people.
That is what we want. And for you to change your colors. They're hideous.
Enough with the brown and yellow. It's disgusting. It was a funny bit for a while. It was like, oh, okay, you're literally going with number 1 and 2, but now we're sick of it. Change it to blue. I know it's cliched, but everybody likes blue. Okay.
Can't go
and
wrong
you know
with it.
what? FedEx has that little arrow they snuck in there. That was clever. What is UPS doing? There's
That's
nothing
true.
clever. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. The monkeys, to tell the monkeys to work on the creative, work on the policies. I'm sick of it.
I'm dying.
Let me just change our vibe here. I remembered this. I had this random old memory, and I was kind of excited to share it with everyone because I think it was really funny. So I I went to a small private Catholic school when I was a kid. That's why I'm so guilty, guys. And,
Truly.
yeah. So anyway, this kid thought of this like bit. You know, we were in like 6th grade, so we were like, you know, like we barely gone through puberty. Like, you know, it was when boners were really, really funny. And he thought of this bit, and what he did was he put a cardboard tube over his genital area, and then had like on like a sweatshirt, so it looked like he had a massive erection. And he would then go around and poke people in the butt with the cardboard tube, poking other guys in the class. And this was probably the funniest thing that ever happened in my entire life up until this point. So the teacher catches us and confronts us and is like, hey, this is, you know, this isn't okay. You can't do this. And then she is like, by the way, isn't this kind of lewd what you're doing? Isn't there a sexual undertone to this?
It's 100% lewd. What do you mean?
Right. But the thing is, we were in 6th grade at Catholic school, right? So there's a lot of repressed sexuality. And so our strategy was, you know, we're all dying laughing, that we just said no. She was like, isn't this lewd? And we said, no, what do you mean? And she's like, come on. And we're like, nope. We have no idea what you're talking about. And it just blew over. It worked.
That's funny.
So if my old Catholic school teacher is listening, we did know it was lewd, and you know, it was wrong. We gaslit you, and it was our only option. It was our only option at the time.
Or else you'd get your knuckles wrapped or something, whatever they do in Catholic school.
No, they didn't corporal punishment us. It was all just emotional guilt punishment.
Oh, good.
It was just go
Much
confess
better.
your sins to the priest. They never hit us. So
Wow.
Anyway, yeah, Catholic school. You got any school stories for us, Sarah? What do you got? You got any juice for us?
Not that I can think of on the spot. I feel like I was just a nerd in a goody two shoes, honestly.
Hey, you still are kind of a nerd.
Still
right?
am. Yeah, it's so true.
The other thing that happened this week is I looked like an asshole. I don't know if anyone saw me, but I would have looked like an asshole. I guess I felt like an asshole. This is kind of an I'm the asshole. So I ordered my Seamless. I get Seamless because I'm lucky enough to get a benefit from work. We get like a little Seamless credit every day. We can order lunch. Order my lunch like I do every day. I get a text from the Seamless guy, you know, the food delivery guy, and he's like, I left your food outside your door. And I was like, okay, great. Go downstairs. There's no food. And I didn't bring my keys, so I couldn't leave. There was no food, but I can't go outside to see if he put it like next door or something. So I'm like, I start like yelling, and I'm like, it's not here. Where are you? Where are you?
Why did you do that?
Because I didn't know what else to do, and I couldn't go outside.
You didn't have your phone with you?
I had my phone, so then I call him, and it hangs up right away. I call again, and then he texts, I'm deaf. And I was like, oh no. So then I was like, hey, the food's not here. And then he brought the food, but it was just an insane moment where I was yelling at no one.
Oh boy.
And even if he was there, he couldn't have heard me. So I did get my food for all of you who were concerned. I got my hamburger. What kind of person eats a double cheeseburger for lunch? Someone like me.
Oh, man.
So those are my tales of woe, people. I'm trying to juice it up, okay?
Love it.
I am back on the dating app, Sarah. I got bored.
What, Steady? You were just like talking such a big game about how you were single and happy about it.
I know. It didn't last.
Oh my God.
Friends from
we had
Arizona,
this conversation. You said this literally an hour ago.
I know.
Oh my. Wait, so when did you join the apps? Like during our 20-minute break?
Between recording? Wait, did I say an hour ago that I was single and happy?
Yeah, you were like, yeah, I'm single now. I'm doing that thing. And like, it wasn't like, oh, so I'm single.
Wow, I guess I was
Oh
just
my God.
just straight up lying. I don't know what I was talking about. Well, I mean, I guess I am single, you know. I'm not really seeing anyone or anything. I just am on the apps. I'm swiping, really. I'm single and swiping, you know, and bombing out there. I'm not doing well on the apps. So, all right, folks, please rate, review, subscribe. Join us on Patreon. We'd love to see you there. We're having a blast. We got the WhatsApp. We got it all. And let's kick this thing off with some Guess the Verdicts, folks. I got some juice for you. AITA for asking my guests to drink something else.
No, I'm going to go with an ESH.
ESH, it's an interesting guess, but it is wrong.
Damn it.
OP had a kickback, and for this kickback, he bought $150 worth of booze and 3 large pizzas for his friends. He also bought himself a very specific set of ingredients, a special gin, and some other bullshit that cost $70, okay, in addition to. So he's making his little special OP drink, and he lets 3 of his friends each have one of the special ingredient drinks, but then they wanted more. He starts to notice that his special bottle of booze is going really fast, and he asks them to switch it up. He says the vibe got awkward, and he's basically like AITA for doing that, asking them to stop drinking his special drink.
Guess maybe no asshole Sarah would have been right.
I agree, Sarah. Good. I'm happy we see eye to eye. I'm like, I'm sorry. What's the problem? Yeah, you're allowed to have your
I
own
don't feel like
special
there's a problem.
drink. That's ridiculous. Nonetheless, top comment went to New Drive YTA. In my opinion, it's rude to get something just for yourself at a party. Save it for later when you're alone. No, it's not.
I feel like that's how most parties are. It's like you bring something and you drink it. What?
Right. Like, it sounds like you were a good host. You gave booze, you gave pizzas, and then, yeah, you wanted your own thing. I mean, that's completely within your rights.
Yeah.
And he shared
doesn't go to parties. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
That's
ridiculous. Bizarre. I don't know what that's made of. I don't know who could possibly agree with this. I mean, give me a break, people. Let people enjoy their special little gin-based drink. Or in my case, it would be like a weird kombucha, but it's not as cool. But I have a right to it, people.
Yes, that is his right. AITA for yelling at a child in a restaurant.
Oh, man. Sarah, are you up to your old tricks? How could this not be YTA or ESH? Maybe it's a kid running amok. The parents are doing nothing. So it's a weird switch up because OP is actually the one stepping in. But is it really appropriate to yell? I would say no. And for these reasons, I'm going to ultimately end on ESH.
Ooh, close. Close. So I actually assumed, I almost didn't click on this one because I was like, this is clearly one where like the child was running amok and almost tripped over the waitress, and the waitress like sternly raised her voice at him because she almost spilled like, 5 trays of hot coffee. But no, that's not what happened. In fact, OP's a 34-year-old male who hates children for undisclosed reasons.
Does everyone on Reddit hate children? It's like they should
well, they do have a hobby and it's Reddit, but
you should get a flare if you don't hate children and you're on Reddit. Should just say not a child hater so everyone knows.
So OP went to dinner with his friends at a sit-down restaurant, and shortly after they sat down, a family with like a 5-year-old boy sat at the table next to them, and he says, I was dismayed, but I decided I was not going to show my frustration. And he says that the boy was like noisy from the start, and eventually he started to get out of his chair and started running around the table, and OP gets up to use the restroom. So then, and the kid's still running around, the kid bumps into his leg. Now, this is the point that this is like, seriously, this is Dwight from The Office. Because OP says, at that point, I snapped and shouted at him, get away from me, you idiot. Oh, no, sorry. Get away from me, you stupid idiot. Again, this is a 5-year-old.
Oh my God.
So, of course, the top comment was YTA. Say the same thing to an adult who accidentally bumps into you and see what happens. Whether you like kids isn't the issue, it's your abysmal social skills. I just imagine calling a child a stupid idiot.
Honestly, the only
with
person
a straight face
who would do that is, in fact, themselves a stupid idiot. That's absurd.
Seriously.
AITA for sleeping in my friend's bed.
I'm gonna go with not the asshole, and this overprotective significant other that I'm imagining in this situation is.
See, Sarah, this is why you're the queen, because you are wrong, but the fact that you nailed the significant other being a major component of this is
God damn it.
It's straight up prophetic, people. She's a low-key prophet. So here's the deal. OP works night shift. He has a deal with his friend to sleep at his friend's place sometime, so he has a key, right? Because his friend isn't there in the morning, so he has permission to nap there. So one day he's napping and the friend's girlfriend shows up. He's like, what's up? She's not happy that he's there. She kicks him out. He's peeved at her. Friend apologizes a million times, but girlfriend also wants an apology from OP. OP refuses to give it. So, top comment, ESH, your friend's an a-hole for not telling her about this at any point before now. So apparently the girlfriend didn't know about the little sleep situation. She's wrong for kicking you out of a house that presumably isn't hers. And you're an asshole because this guy is a good enough friend to be doing you this huge favor and you're being a terrible friend to him.
Yeah, I mean, just apologize.
I don't know. I'm not really with it. I'm sorry, Sarah. I just feel like OP didn't...
I don't think this is a hill to die on.
I agree, but I just feel like OP did nothing wrong. And I would be like, sorry, girlfriend, like you were not wronged here. You were very temporarily inconvenienced, which you rapidly solved and kicked him out. Why would he owe you an apology?
What I would just say is like, you know, I'm sorry if I startled you that day when I was in your house. Like, I feel like that's it.
No, but it's not her house. It's her boyfriend's house.
Fine, when I was in the house. Like... Still,
I'm sorry if I startled you. She came in. She startled him.
No. How many times do you go into a house that you have keys and expect someone else to be there?
Okay, I guess I can meet you in the middle on I'm sorry I startled you, but I'm not giving her anything more than that. And I also want an apology.
I didn't say to give anything more than that.
Okay, no, I'm saying I'm with you on that, and that's just to preserve the friendship. I don't think it makes you an asshole. You don't got to apologize for that. OP did nothing wrong.
I guess, well, I don't know. It's interesting because I feel like you are definitely one to like just throw out an apology to keep the peace, and this definitely seems like a situation where you should. And now it's like, are you really going to be petty and like make this a problem for your friend who was doing you a favor in the first place? Like, just do it, man.
I agree that it's the right thing to do. It's what I would do, but I just don't think it makes you an asshole. And I don't like the girlfriend. Why won't she apologize? And why does she need an apology? She was not
she
wrong.
Sounds terrible. So I don't know.
Startled. GMAB on this shit. Give me a break. Startled. You don't know an apology for startling.
I mean, I don't know. I just think he should.
All right. Well,
like I feel like if anything, he's maybe the asshole for now sticking, what's the word, digging his heels in and like causing a problem in his friends. Then I'm like, it's not his problem that
it's not his problem.
I don't know. I'm not sure, but whatever. I still got it wrong. So, okay.
It's
last
true.
one, we have AITA for not staying home.
Oh, you are a little terrorist. AITA for not staying home? What? They needed to stay home. I'm just going to say YTA because you know what? They needed to stay home because they were caring for a ferret and the ferret ran out.
You might think that, but you would be wrong. Yes, in this vague title that gave you nothing to work with, OP's wife has the flu and she's a stay-at-home mom for their 2-year-old. OP works management for a construction company, and last week 4 people got laid off. Wife wants OP to skip work even though he's not sick, to stay home and comfort her and help with the baby. And he's like, no, I need to keep my job. The top comment was, if you have no sick days and could not afford to stay home, NTA. There have been plenty of times I've been home sick with multiple kids because my husband could not take off work. It sucks, but that's life. They did add, if you have sick days you could have taken, then I do think you were a bit of an asshole for not taking them.
Yeah, I'm with that. It almost seems like an info.
True.
All right, guys. Well, that was Guess the Verdict, and I believe it was a no-hitter, wasn't it, Sarah?
Did you get one? No,
nothing.
Dang, no-hitter.
Wow, a no-hitter, guys. It's a draw. Nonetheless, even though it wasn't the spiciest round to Guess the Verdict, folks, we still are on a long, long streak of juicy eps. One heck of an ep, folks. Our second story of the day. AITA for pretty much giving my wife an ultimatum. Also, shout out to one of our listeners, I believe her name is Hillary, who read a BuzzFeed article about an AITA, and they used the word heck of a in writing. They wrote
Oh my God.
HECKUVA. And I just
Secret
want to...
podcast listener.
Absolutely. And I want to warn you, BuzzFeed, you better credit the pod there. We will come for you. It's UPS today, but we will come for BuzzFeed. I own Heckova. Okay, folks? That is me.
Oh, I already have my gripes with BuzzFeed. I'll tell you off the air. So we're ready.
I have a copyright.
The mic, the
I have a copyright. I have Sarah ammunition. Do not mess with me, multi-billion-dollar BuzzFeed.
Seriously.
Okay? Do not
real.
pick this fight.
Do not. You'll
But
regret
first, would I be the asshole if I don't go to my daughter's wedding? About 10 years ago, a close friend of our daughter's came out as gay. This friend in particular slept over at our house so much that she was almost like a daughter to us. We even had a separate bed in our daughter's bedroom just for her. When we found out she was gay, our husband and I had a discussion about whether we should continue to let her sleep in our daughter's bedroom or if we should move her to the guest room. We were hesitant, but we had a convo with our daughter, who was 17 at the time, and she told us that even if her friend tried anything, she would shut it down because she was straight. Made sense. We believed our daughter was trustworthy and responsible, so we allowed the friend to continue sleeping in her room. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. They finished senior year and went off to college. We never suspected anything. Every time they would come home from the holidays, my daughter brought a boy with her, and my daughter's friend brought a girl with her. Come to find out, the boy we thought our daughter was dating was actually dating the girl we thought our daughter's friend was dating. Now, that is
It's like a parent trap, sort of.
That's exactly where my head went. The kid trap.
Yes.
And the way we found out is because one day I got an invitation in the mail to a wedding for our daughter and her friend. I was confused. I called my daughter thinking there had been some type of a typo. No answer. I called the friend and I can barely ask what's going on before the friend breaks down crying and confesses that her and my daughter have been in a relationship for a decade, which was around the time we agreed to let her sleep in our daughter's room. My husband and I felt, nay, feel so betrayed. Our daughter gets on the phone and says, "Mom, Dad, I know you're upset and I promise we'll talk after the wedding and I'll explain everything." I said, "Okay, we'll talk after the wedding." I hang up. The next day she calls me. I pick up and say, "Why are you calling me? I thought you didn't want to talk until after the wedding." She said, "We are, but I wanted to know what times are available so we could get measured for our dresses." And I said, "What do you mean we? You don't think that our father and I are going to your wedding, do you? You lied to us for 10 years for no reason, and you expect us to just automatically disregard that? We'll talk after the wedding."
I don't know. I mean, I think something's not adding up. I feel like I don't know, if you think you're perfectly like the most tolerant people in the world and you're surprised, but your daughter hid a relationship from you for 10 years, I think that doesn't compute. I think there was a reason for that.
I don't know. I mean, I can go to conspiracy theory town with you, but
I don't think that's even a conspiracy theory. Like, I almost think it's a conspiracy to believe this account. Because then you have to believe that someone would be so weirdly calculating and good at lying for no discernible reason for 10 years.
I mean, you almost have to respect just the commitment to the bit at that point. Good Lord.
Like, exactly.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, look, maybe it's not conspiracy theory, but it's certainly not playing it as it lays.
It's not, but I really have to believe that we live in a world where if someone is going to hide their sexuality from their parents for that long, they have a reason, and that reason is, I don't know, real. Like,
yeah, unfortunately, this is a minor mark against OP. Their account was suspended, so maybe they were arguing in the comments, so that could portend on some level of unhinged. I'm just trying to see if they responded to anything, but it's very difficult to search a 1,000-comment Reddit thread, unfortunately.
I feel like I'm just getting energy like they might not be like, I don't know what the word is, but like the type of people who make it clear like, I will not have a gay son or daughter and I'll kick you out of the house and blah blah blah, but like I would imagine that they have said things over the years that like subtly hint at how they feel, and I would imagine that if the daughter also was queer, that she picked up on these things.
That's fair. I mean, let's just rapidly, if it really is just to play it as it lays, even though in this case maybe that's not even fair, I would say like if they just really were deceived, and that's that, then I guess I would say not the asshole. But I am with you. You're right. It just straight up doesn't compute. It doesn't compute. I'm with you.
Woo. I actually would say regardless, even it's actually funny because for me, whether or not it does compute is actually irrelevant because I think the impact of not going to the wedding is the same regardless of like whether they're correct in like not wanting to go.
I guess I just feel like on their side it is very, very tough. You know, it's very, very tough to be lied to like this and find out about the wedding. I honestly, you know what radar is going off for me, Sarah? It's frankly fake radar.
I guess this could be fake because I'm like, in what world?
In what world? They hid it for 10 years. I mean, that is like CIA level espionage.
No, it's not. I mean, plenty of gay people wait longer than that to come out. It's not that out of the realm of possibility.
Okay, but that's not it, Sarah. It's the plot point, which we even cited a movie, The Parent Trap, where they did this weird reversal thing and brought each other's SOs. I mean, come on. It sounds...
I feel like that's not even the point of it, but the point of it to me is that you distrust your parents this much, which may or may not be, which could be very well fair, but then you're gonna like invite them to your wedding out of the blue and still also like seemingly include them in the wedding activities, like getting measured for the dresses and stuff.
Exactly.
Like,
it doesn't add up.
That's weird. If you think your parents are that homophobic that they wouldn't approve of your relationship, but you do think that they would be down to participate in your wedding,
it doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. Something doesn't add up here. Dependent Fox. I like it. YTA, set your feelings aside for the amount of time it takes to bask in the glory of what it's like to get your daughter ready for her wedding. You and her father should be there for her at the wedding. Once the wedding reception and honeymoon are over, talk calmly and rationally and tell them both that you are very hurt, that they thought they needed to hide their relationship from you, and that the only thing it would have changed would have been the sleeping arrangements. I mean, I can't stop just this itch because I guess they didn't really give the age of the other gal. I guess she's not older. Yeah, she's just a close friend of the daughter's, and then they slept together. Okay.
Probably the same age. I mean, I also think, I think it's ridiculous for the daughter to be like, boom, here's this surprise wedding invitation. No, we're not going to talk about this massive question mark that you have until after the wedding. That is,
exactly.
I don't know.
That's not fair. That's not fair.
You're right. That isn't fair. And I think it should be talked about before the wedding because I feel like everybody would have a better time once they're not like holding this in.
Exactly. There needs to be a conversation. That's exactly what Not Clever Enough to Reddit wrote. This needs to happen before the wedding. If the daughter wants her parents' full involvement and support of the wedding, she needs to grow up and talk to them about why she's been lying to them for a decade. At the very least, it's like you're not going to be able to let go and enjoy yourself at this thing. So have the conversation for everybody's sake. Come on.
I mean, that's what I think. I feel like as the bride, you'd be so... I'd feel like you'd be nervous, and then the parents are just kind of in this weird limbo of like, this is cool, I guess, but how is this happening and everything like that. So yeah.
Right. Of the C95, those liars, you mean the people who didn't feel safe enough to come out. I hate when people call being in the closet lying. If someone queer is going to such great lengths to keep their sexuality secret from you, then you need to re-examine your behavior that led them to do so. It's not fun to pretend like that to your family. It's not fun to ask your friends to pretend. It's not fun to hide such a major part of your life from your loved ones. Unless she has some sort of personality disorder, OP's daughter didn't keep this from her parents for shits and giggles.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was at with the conspiracy town or lack thereof.
Well, I'm finding this personality disorder comment a little bit problematic because it's not people with personality disorders aren't like, let's fuck with people. That would be hilarious. That's not really what that's made of. But
yeah. I feel like it's more just like if you are like the main character of Gone Girl. Okay, no, you didn't see that movie? Went over your head?
I can't remember. It didn't stick with me.
She faked her own death because her husband had an affair, and then she framed him for it. And then she decided, never mind. And then so I'm like, unless you're that girl, I feel like nobody's just doing this for fun.
Yeah, but
I am there on the line. I get why the parents feel like they have been lied to, but I'm also ready to like backtrack on actually categorizing it as lying. So
I'm not.
I'll take that back.
I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm not. and I know I'm on dangerous territory here by doing this, but let me just tell you, I think there's a very good reason why they would lie, because they were sleeping with each other at her parents' house, and that is a great fucking deal. I would have absolutely quote unquote lied, and I'm not saying that it is the same as lying to conceal your sexuality, but in fact, please give me a little bit of grace here, folks, and just say, was there not a very clear incentive for them to lie when they were 17?
I think the only lie is OP saying, if the friend tries anything, I'm going to shut it down because I'm straight. Like, that is a quote that she said that was not true. I feel like that is a lie. I'm not ready to like say that. I'm ready to like side with this person because they are a member of the LGBTQ community, and I feel what they said, and like I feel like that characterization gets into like problematic territory.
Yes,
is all that I'm saying. So I'm ready to like just use a different word, to use a different way to describe what happened for 10 years.
Yes. Okay. Well, look, as long as we can agree that there is some, and I'm not saying it's the same as lying to be in the closet. That's not remotely what I'm saying. I'm just saying there was, in fact, a motive for this person, for the OP's daughter to lie, because she wanted to keep having sex with her girlfriend. And who among us wouldn't do that exact lie at that time, you know? And
I think that's like the one time thing that she said that one time that I'll be like, yes, that was
right. Well, it created an entire precedent. There was every reason for her to not come out at that point. Now, of course, I don't even need for the parents to be quote unquote homophobic. They could merely have said, I think you said this earlier, have just said subtle things. Sometimes parents say subtle things. Oh, well, it wouldn't be ideal if I had a gay child. And that would be sufficient for why they might hide in the closet. So I understand that, but I can see how, you know, it's like, okay, think about the chain of events this sets off if OP's daughter is transparent and, you know, says, hey, in high school, we were totally, you know, girlfriend and girlfriend. So that, and then a person who's college age might not be mature enough. They don't want to have that conversation. And then the lie kind of keeps on building and building. Personally, I think this story is fake. But if I didn't...
I mean, yeah, I'm like, oh, sorry. I'm like, I kind of guessed how that could happen. But then again, at the same time, I'm like, I think that actually would be the perfect time to bring it up, is like she's coming home for the holidays and they're like, hey, we have something to tell you, like, haha, guess when, remember when? Like, I think that's the more like that option is honestly almost easier for me to picture.
Yeah, and I mean, I do want to backtrack a little bit and just say, you know, I obviously cannot empathize. I can sympathize and try to understand. I understand, you know, being queer is very complicated and there's all these complicated aspects. So I just feel like, you know, look, I remember being in high school and wanting to have sex with my girlfriend. And so I can see myself placing just such a lie. And I think that's the one aspect I just find, you know, relatable.
Yeah, but I don't think you would stay in the closet for 10 years.
No.
Solely so that you could have sex when you were at your parents' house.
No, of course not. Of course not, right? Because and that's the thing too, is that I guess I'm not as comfortable with coming for the parents and saying, well, it must be about them, because there could be any myriad of reasons, you know, that you would want to stay. You know, like Off the Sea here is saying, well, that you need to re-examine your behavior, but no, they might not want to come out to you because you might have loose lips like me. Like, please don't come out to me if you want that shit to be secret.
I know, but then that is, you need to examine your behavior. Stop telling people's business. Okay,
well, yes, but I'm saying, well, they might just not want to tell you because they don't want to tell anybody. I mean, that's what I mean, is there's a whole ecosystem. But
they're having a wedding and they're sending out invitations.
I'm saying prior, Sarah, that, you know, it doesn't necessarily mean...
I'm just saying this isn't holding up.
Am I Real 42? My suspicion from my own life is that the friend coming out was the test run for the parents and that something happened in the months after convinced the daughter it was better to hold off. I honestly think that's pretty spot on sounding. I mean, yeah, it was the test run. But Sarah, again, defending the parents a little bit, it is still pretty lenient, I think, and it does portend well for their case that they let someone who came out as a lesbian still sleep with their daughter. Like, they seem like pretty liberal folks.
No,
that's not liberal.
Doesn't make you like accepting. No, because even if she was a lesbian, that doesn't mean she's attracted to the daughter necessarily.
I know that, but it does seem pretty accepting. How much more accepting can you be? That seems pretty
not
accepting.
making a big deal about it. Like,
Well,
I don't think you get like a cookie for just treating someone normally.
I mean,
If the daughter was straight, they would have never even had a conversation. So,
well, but don't you think it's valid, or at least it's a look? And I'm not necessarily saying I'm for this convention, but I wouldn't necessarily a parent is an asshole for not letting their kid fuck their boyfriend or girlfriend, you know, in their house. That's a fairly common rule. And I'm saying, and then they simply ask like, "Yo, are you going to do that?" I think that's a fair question.
If they do allow it, I'm not going to be like, yes, progressive king and queen. Like, it's just, no.
Well, they don't have to be a king or a queen, but it does show that they're not like being bigoted about it. They simply asked, and she said no.
I mean, yes, they're not being bigoted. Just not being bigoted does not mean that they're like necessarily progressive. So I don't think that this is really like a thing. Either way.
Okay, so let me go the other way with it. Maybe that's why I'm not quite clicking in on this. If they said, okay, well, we don't want your lesbian friend to sleep with you anymore, that would be bigoted.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. You're right. Okay, look, people, sometimes I'm slow on the uptake. No problem, 1174. My parents are not homophobic to people. They have gay and lesbian friends, but when they found out at 15 I was dating the same gender, damn, I saw their true colors and start pretending to be straight. Okay. All right, Sarah, I'm with you. I will downgrade this from a conspiracy theory to a very logical inference. Now I don't know how to label this. Would I be the asshole if I don't go to my daughter's wedding?
I think so, because I actually think we spent too much time in like the coming out or not, which to me is a red herring. And the actual problem is that if you don't go to this wedding that your daughter really wants you to be involved in, you are the asshole. It's going to have lasting repercussions on your relationship.
Right. And there is the parental duty, which we haven't even gone into, which is you got to put your own bullshit away.
Yep. Be the bigger person.
I do
sign
think
up for life.
If the daughter refuses to have the conversation and have a conversation with them, I would say I would understand if they didn't want to go to the daughter's wedding more.
I would understand, but I would still call them the asshole, honestly, just because like weddings are a huge deal to people, and not having your parents there is really a huge deal. It's something that it's a shadow that's going to hang over the whole day.
But Sarah, isn't there something brutal? Yeah, exactly. There's a shadow that's going to hang over the whole day if they don't have a conversation about what just happened for 10 years.
Yeah, but it's not the same. It's not the same as if you were to not go. So I still think, they would be the asshole.
I don't know.
Having someone there and like slightly uncomfortable is better than not having them there at all.
Slightly uncomfortable, Sarah? I'm slightly uncomfortable if I'm at a wedding and I see my ex.
I mean, if you want to play that game, like you can, and that's your opinion, but I just genuinely think that they're sending you an invitation. They want you to be involved in the process. If you don't come, you are the asshole, because it's going to really like nuke the relationship. And if you care about it, you'll go and drink for 6 hours.
I just feel like even though I do believe in my hardcore parental duty, nothing absolves you of that. I just feel like having a conversation prior to the wedding is, frankly, ignoring that is borderline inhumane. I mean, I think they deserve to be talked to about this.
I mean, I do think that they deserve to be talked to, but I'm just still saying, regardless, if you don't go, like, you are, in my book, you are the asshole, and in your kid's book, you're honestly going to be the asshole probably for a long time, if not forever. So, I'm just saying what I think.
I don't think we see exactly eye to eye. Nonetheless, I do think we do agree overall. Would I be the asshole if I don't go to my daughter's wedding? We are saying UITA.
Yes.
Guys, please rate, review, and subscribe. I know I say dumb things, and it does happen, but sometimes I say not dumb things. So maybe think about the not dumb things that are said. And Sarah says almost exclusively not dumb things, even smart things. That's because she's educated.
Thank you.
So throw us a rate review. We really appreciate it. We'll read it on the pod. Submit at aitapod.com. And please join us on Patreon if you want more of the juice factor. Patreon.com/AITApod. AITA for pretty much giving my wife an ultimatum. My wife and I are in our late 30s and have 2 girls, 14 and 16. My wife works in a pretty high-stress position that often requires a lot of travel, sometimes up to 2 full weeks a month.
Ugh,
but the job is in her desired field, and she's worked hard to get where she is, and it pays well, which is a plus. I work a lower-stress job with more flexible hours, but it doesn't pay as well. Because of my wife's job, I've been the parent that attends to most of our kids' needs. I take them to their activities, I attend all games and recitals, I take them shopping, taught our oldest how to drive, etc. A few weeks ago, my wife got a job offer from a client of hers that she's worked with for years. It would be a more stable position that would eliminate her need to travel and would also come with a nice bump in pay. Problem, the job is literally across the country, 2,000 miles away. When she told me about it, she was beyond excited because this job would finally give her a chance to be at home with our girls again. She was talking about it like it was already decided that she would take the job and we would move. I tried to share in her initial excitement, but all I could think of was leaving behind the life that the girls and I had built here. My wife sensed that I wasn't enthusiastic about the job as she was and asked me what was up. I told her the girls are at an age now where uprooting their lives and leaving all their friends behind would be a pretty drastic change, and we needed to get their input before making any decisions. She agreed, and we spoke with them. Both the girls want to stay where we are. Neither like the idea of moving and starting in new schools. They like their friends, they like their school, they like their sports and activities here. My wife got upset and tried to convince them how much better it would be for her to have a job that actually allowed her to be present in their lives again. But my oldest pretty much told her that she was being selfish for asking them to uproot their lives just so she could feel better about herself. My wife broke down in tears after the talk and confessed to me that she thought this new job would be an easy decision for us, and I should help her convince our daughters that it was the right choice. I told her I wasn't going to do that. I told her we should wait until the girls are done with high school before moving across the country like that. She said this kind of job opportunity doesn't come around that often, and if she doesn't take it then, she doesn't know if she'll ever get a chance like this again. She said she felt like I was forcing her to choose between her family and her career, and I told her that's pretty much exactly a decision she needs to make. She asked what would happen if she took the job, and I told her I'd probably stay here with our girls. She called me an asshole and now isn't talking to me. AITA.
Woof. We did discuss this in the happy hour, and there was a lot said, so I kind of feel like I'm going in with that bias of like the revelations we discussed. But this does feel like almost a gender flip of that one situation with the mom and the 2-year-old, and the dad got a job offer in like Nashville.
Right.
Key differences though. I mean, number one, the kids are 14 and 16. So it does make more of a difference to move.
The kid in the other situation was 2.
Was 2, mm-hmm. Yes. I mean, the other difference, is there a difference? No, I think that was mainly it. Well, I guess the other thing was like the dad didn't travel for work or something. Like he just got a new job offer somewhere else. Right.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that's a key difference here, uprooting the lives of the kids. And really, I think first, the first point I want to make here, and it was a point I made earlier, is that moving sucks. It does really, truly suck. I just did it, and it's horrible. It's, among the worst things that's ever happened to me because I've lived a very privileged life. And that's why I'm so ignorant sometimes, guys. But listen, I do like that in this case, most of the objections from OP do involve the kids. So I give OP credit for that. But the main point that I kind of rested on here is I just really don't feel like wife is being sufficiently heard for me. And I also think, and somebody raised this point in the happy hour, which is like, yes, the 14, 16-year-old, they don't want to move, but they'll be fine. Okay, so the 14-year-old is like barely starting high school. The 16-year-old is halfway done through high school. It's not ideal. They're about to go to college and make a whole new set of friends anyway. It's like kind of like in the scope of things, like not that big of a deal. Like, I don't know.
That was my thought, was like, what teenager, if they're having a good time, is going to want to move? Nobody.
Nobody.
None. They wouldn't. So asking them, to me, almost felt like a shield, because the dad didn't want to move, which, listen, I get why you don't want to move across the country at the drop of a hat, but, just be honest about your intentions.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's fair to characterize his intentions as dishonest, Sarah. I notice quite a different rhetorical spin from you now that the genders are flipped here. Is that fair to say?
I mean, I'm just saying, like, I don't think that the kids are, like, they are part of the equation, but it's also like, yeah, obviously they don't want to move.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I guess the point that I was kind of been going at here is like, look, in this case, the wife is a provider. She's the breadwinner. She's working hard. She's doing the brutal work here, you know? We don't know that.
I mean, if anything, I actually was coming in harsh on her because I was like, well, she chose to have this career where she would travel and blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, well, I don't think I would necessarily be saying the same thing if the man had a job who was traveling. I'd be like, yep, them's the breaks. And so I was like, oh shit, I do have to examine that.
Well, of course. And look, I think deploying empathy for her is really part of this, because as much as we'd like to say gender roles are gone and they're over with, and we can choose to say that and we can try to not enforce them, there is no way in hell that this wife doesn't have guilt about not being the primary source of emotional support for her kiddos. I mean, I bet you she's getting a microaggression a week about this, like, oh, really? Traveling, huh? What about your kids? And she's like,
for sure.
What about my kids? They have a loving
it's not
father.
funny, but it is funny that you put it that way.
Of course, you know, there's just no way. And I'm sure she carries a lot of guilt about that. And that is where I can start to come for OP, is that I don't really feel him fully, kind of encompassing her perspective and understanding her perspective. And I think this is good. And I love that the genders are flipped here, because I think it can be easy on both sides. And we've done a shit ton of situations about, you know, a guy who's a breadwinner and he wants to call the shots and he's being selfish and self-centered, and not realizing, you know, that the emotional labor, the emotional labor in the relationship, they're rearing kids, as you pointed out in a recent bonus episode, is obviously tremendously physically laborious. I mean, it's freaking labor. I mean, there really is no way around that. I mean, you could literally pay someone to do that labor, a babysitter or a nanny, whatever. But I like this because it's kind of a flip of that, where it kind of forces you to empathize with the provider and the sacrifices that the provider makes. And this is an extreme case because she's literally not there because of her job. And it could be easy to be like, well, fuck mom, she's not even here. But it's like, hold on a second. Mom is providing. Like, that's part of her role in this family system.
Right.
And so just because that's her role doesn't mean you get to say, well, who gives a shit about her and what she feels? Well, you should, because she was there providing for you. So even that is just cash. You know, it's also your house and the fact that you got to go to Paris or whatever it may have been. Nice
it's
trip.
not just cash. So I think everybody gets that part. I think it also has got to hurt, like, for the kids to basically say that she's being selfish. I get why they think that, because again, they're teenagers,
right?
But I also get why that hurts.
Exactly. I think that's what I'm finding a little bit mean to her side, is like, well, is that selfish? She wants to be more part of this family. You know,
that's actually not.
Exactly.
Like, it is, because it's like, that's what you want, but the desire to spend more time with your family is, like, I feel like almost anything but selfish.
Exactly. And like, and someone made a great point in the happy hour, which is she's just trying to make up for the motherhood she couldn't provide. And I don't know if that was her exact wording, but just to combat that a little bit, is like, she is a mother, and the motherhood she provided may not fit that conventional, square peg, square hole, because she's a provider, and that's not the traditional gender role here, but she is a mom. Okay. And so I think the word selfish there is bothering me. She wants to be more involved with the kids. This is a pay bump. This is a benefit. And yes, it will upend their lives, and that is a pain point, and it's a negative for the kids. However, there's a lot of life lessons that can be learned, and there's a lot of good things that come out of moving. I mean, novelty is exciting. Building a new life is exciting. It's challenging people. I mean, I'm not in a great place after my move yet, but I know I'll grow from this. No matter what, I will grow from it.
Right. I mean, I guess I also feel like it was kind of brought up as a jab, and I feel like people have said that in the comments, kind of like, oh, she's just trying to make up for this lost time. And it's kind of like, yeah, but like, also, so what? You're not cooked at 14 years old. There's still plenty of growing up to do. And is it so bad that, like, even if this was a dad too who was like sort of absent because he was traveling for work, like, Would that be so bad if he was like, you know what, I really haven't been home and I want to change that? I feel like shouldn't be too late. I feel like you shouldn't get a shot against you for wanting to change that.
Exactly. I mean, look, you're never too late to grow the bond with your child. And even though, and I think I'm with you. I think in the happy hour, I did say these kids are cooked. And you know what? I could backtrack off that a bit because I'll say this. You know, I think these are still formative years. Absolutely. These are formative years. She wants to be part of that formation. I think she has a right to that.
You're not going to just be like, all right, well, I'm out once the kid turns 18. I mean, people do that, but I don't think that's good. But like, you know, just because the daughter is 16 doesn't mean that you can't be there for them. I mean, listen, you got prom, you got college applications. I don't know what else happened in high school because I blocked it all out, but there's still a lot of things that I feel like the mom could want to be present for.
Exactly. The Moo Cat writes, honestly, I don't know how to vote this. Does it suck to move?
Retweet.
Yes. Especially for teenage girls. But you admit your wife has been run ragged by her job for a long time and miss being at home with her fam. She sees this as an opportunity more as benefits with pay and being present. That's valid. Y'all like the status quo, which makes sense. You love a status quo, people. So some of us do.
Yeah.
I guess it's the straight white men who love the status quo more than anyone. But anyway, you're established in your lower stress job. Your kids are established. Change sucks and is hard. Almost no one willingly picks change if there's not a benefit. Ooh, that's juicy.
That's true.
I think your wife works hard to provide at the expense of losing time with her fam. She thought she could finally have it all, and you said, nah, we prefer the life where we don't see you and you're exhausted and gone all the time. As a wife and mother, I'm sure that sucks to hear. I don't think she's an asshole for wanting this to happen. I think you and the girls are not assholes for not wanting to change, but at the same time, it's not fair that this is all on her because a family should be a unit and you should understand all the sacrifices your wife has made so you can have a flexible job that's low stress and lower pay. And your girls have to realize you can only afford the life you've given them because of your wife's salary. I'm with that. I think that is a good explication of some of the points we talked about. Victorian platypus, definitely going to rank on the top names for me. I'm going with ESH. You, because you dragged your daughters into this right away when you should have aired your concerns with your wife privately.
That's what I was trying to say. You put it better than me.
I'm with that. You basically foisted off all the initial unpleasant convo to your kids, which is not cool. Your wife, because she doesn't seem willing to look at this from anyone else's point of view. I don't know. I don't think I'm ready to go that far on either one of them, but
I think because it's like, I feel like when you're bringing someone an opportunity, you're not going to be like, I don't know, you're just going to pitch it, you know, like.
Right.
And she seemed excited. I mean, she seemed excited and this did seem like it was sprung on her. It's not like, oh, this is a position that she interviewed for and like communicated with the husband every step of the way of the process. So that said, I don't think it needs to be ultimatum time. On the one hand, I feel like if it's a good opportunity, it's worth exploring if you can jump on it. But I'm also like, what if she just applies to stuff nearby that doesn't require traveling? Is that possible?
Yeah, well, we never know. Everyone in Reddit has a job in some obscure industry. It's always like, I'm a werewolf hunter. And you're like, oh, shit, I don't know how that works. You know what I mean? We never know what it is. And then it has strange.
I know. Everyone always has this like weird, obscure job that is only stationed in 2 cities in the U.S. and they're across the country from each other. Actually, that did happen to my friend, because her boyfriend was literally a rocket scientist. But
that's hilarious. It's an industry that only hires once every 7 years on a full moon. So
like Halley's Comet, exactly.
Halley's Comet, nice. So I don't know. This commenter also tried to come for OP and said that he did something backhanded with the girls and had the conversation, but I don't think the text supports that.
I think it was just kind of like inept. I don't think it was. It was like a bad parenting play.
No, I don't think it's true, Sarah. The wife sensed that OP wasn't enthusiastic and asked what was up. And then he said, I told her that the girls are on age now where uprooting their lives and leaving all their friends behind would be a drastic change. And we needed to get their input. She agreed and we spoke with them. So that was just, they hated OP and they're trying to come for OP.
I forgot about that part. I take it back.
Yeah, I just don't think there's any grounds to call anyone an asshole here. I think it's a tough sitch. I think it's, I think that this is good. It's a good discussion of understanding both roles here. And I think mom deserves, and the provider role deserves, just as much empathy here. I'm also like, I think I could sell you guys, and I think I'm with this, that uprooting is hard, but it's not necessarily not in their best interest, because uprooting can lead to growth. You know, it can. Yep. And if you're an attentive parent and you're on the ball, and it sounds like now they'll both be more flexible and they'll both be more on the ball, they can ultimately both improve the kids' lives more. So I would argue that even though the kids, I don't want to go, can be overridden with some, parenting here, and they're going to be ultimately capable of better parenting.
Mm-hmm.
AITA for pretty much giving my wife an ultimatum. Well, yeah, you would be if he rests on the ultimatum, because this is a conversation that needs to keep evolving and happening, and it's not a no-brainer, and you don't just going to go, we don't want to move, and the girls don't want to move, and that's that.
Yep.
Not fair.
Agree.
And thank you for the AITA gods, because I was going to have to write this gender-flipped thing, and fortunately Sarah found it, so I didn't have to craft my own thing. But I think we do agree it's YTA if you're going to be all rigid about it, because there's more convo that needs to be had.
Because we said, what we had ultimately decided, if I recall, which, because I agreed, was, yes, you would be the asshole if you, refuse to, what's the thing? Not stick in the mud, whatever. If you just outright refuse to have, any conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I think the insight that we've gotten to that we didn't have with the prior one here is that ultimately what we have to look at here is that whether they're 2 or 14 or even 16, there is still runway there for parenting to happen. And so therefore, when the parent gets more flexibility and more time with the kids, that is a parenting optimization. And I can sort of run with the fact that that is going to lead to better parenting, and therefore can tend toward more in the best interest of the child. And so that is a mission critical kind of value for a couple assessing a move such as this. All right, guys. Well, we're going to cut it short there at 2 situations, because we kind of went the F off, and I hope you guys enjoyed the ep.
That was bonkers. Please note, I know there was a listener who really wants to get their situation read. We did post it in the group. Thank you for just bumping the submission, and we will do that next week, because that was the listener submission. So
super sorry about that. It's just we're running along here, and I'm gonna
listen. You guys don't want to hear us talk for that.
We're
long.
tired too. Sarah yawned at one point. I don't know if you guys heard it, but anyway, look.
Sorry, I tried to do it away from the mic.
You're fine. You're fine, guys. Much love for all of you. Thank you so much for listening. And we will see you next Monday morning.